Time for Impact Intact, your favorite bi-weekly show. It is Monday, so that means we're kicking off this week on the Hive, talking some classic TNA wrestling. We what? So this is like I believe this is like the sixth episode of this show. Eighth episode of this show. You know better than me. This is the 8th episode of this show, and I can say, obviously, we're not going to talk about the show just yet. We'll say our hellos, but every single show that we've watched has been very different from one another, and this is just like maybe the most different. In all honesty, so we're coming off of watching this. I watched this a few hours ago. CJ watched this like an hour ago. So it's fresh in our minds, which is it's just interesting. Because sometimes I watch them like 2 or 3 days before we record. And that sometimes it's better because you can like think about it a little bit more, but sometimes you're just like, I forgot what that even was, especially on some of the shit that we've watched. But we'll get to this week's episode in just a second. But first and foremost, we are coming off of yesterday's Clash in Paris event. By the time that you hear this, Clash in Paris will be said and done. You would have seen CJ yesterday with JPJ on the watch party. So obviously we're recording this in real time, and you've definitely you've definitely done this already. So how was the watch party yesterday? I'm sure it was great.
Oh, it was really great. It was amazing.
Lots of stuff happened.
You know what's really odd here is if you're watching this on Monday, I'm in my normal stuff. If you watch the watch along yesterday, I have a $300 new mic and a very professional mic.
So this is like
everything new. We're going backwards here.
Yeah, so you just decided to use it, I guess. I don't know, just to say goodbye to it.
Stuff. I don't even want it. I don't want to sound 4K beautiful quality.
No, why would you want that at all? Garbage. Like, why would you want that at all?
Yeah, I don't want that shit.
It's cool because so the last couple of watch parties here on the Hive, which you can catch, by the way, every single AEW or WWE pay-per-view for the most part, some NXT stuff as well, depending on where.
PLE, don't pay-per-view, excuse me.
Well, AEW pay-per-view, WWE PLE, NXT PLE, whatever. We didn't do one for Heatwave last week, but I believe NXT are running. They're not running against AEW for the next few little shows they have, so we might throw in some NXT ones in there as well. I don't watch NXT week to week, but I do watch NXT PLEs, so we'll do some more watch parties. But you can catch them every single pay-per-view PLE, either on our Twitch or on our YouTube or on both, or in the case of something happening at the end of the month, you'll have to watch at the same time but more about that. That's not for right now. But there's a lot happening. So usually pretty much every other weekend at this point, we have some kind of a watch party. We do watch parties for Raw. We now got a Dynamite team with Peggy and Jamie. There's a lot happening here in the Hive. We're building, and we're eventually going to have a SmackDown team and an NXT team when we put the right pieces in play, but we'll get there when we get there. But there's a lot of watch parties happening. So CJ had one yesterday with JPJ. He will be here again later in the month for something that we'll announce later on. And then before you know it, we'll be rocking and rolling. We're getting towards the back end of the year now, really. By the time you hear this, it's September. So it's just going crazy. Before you know it, it'll be Christmas time again, and then we'll be gearing up for WrestleMania. So that's just crazy to say. As you can tell by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm in a CM Punk shirt today. This is maybe the only wrestling shirt that I own. I used to own like 70,000 of them, and then I decided these are the ugliest things that I possibly can own. So I have this one. I bought this one at the Elimination Chamber last year, so it's
Punk always has okay merch, at the very least.
They just always have to put shit on the back.
Yeah, the back fucks it up.
Just put something on the front, and I'd own so many more wrestling shirts. But they put shit on the back, and I've never really understood it. But before we get into today's episode, of course, this episode is brought to you by Dubby. You got to stay energized for all those watch parties and that we have. Sometimes they're on at weird times. We've had different wrestling events in different countries lately. So there's a lot of just like awkward times. Sometimes it's airing really early in the morning. Sometimes it's really late at night. Sometimes it's in the afternoon. So you hit the afternoon jitters. You're just like, I need something to get me through the rest of the day. The best way to do that is with Dubby. And if you go to dubby.gg and use the code THEHIVE, all one word, you can get 10% off your order. There's no jitters, there's no sugars, just clean energy with Dubby. So head to dubby.gg, use the code TheHive, all one word, for 10% off of your order. And I think today is a perfect day to have something like Dubby because you've got Impact Intact to get through. And I think the best way to watch Impact Intact every week, CJ, is to perhaps pause right now. If you haven't watched this episode of TNA Impact that we're about to talk about, it's actually available for free, which again, I didn't realize that I was doing, but it is on YouTube. So you can watch it on YouTube and you can watch. What date is it? What's the date of this?
March
Impact?
27th, 2008.
March 27th, 2008. So this is which we'll talk about. Actually, I'll leave that little tidbit in a minute. But this is the first ever live edition of Impact in its history, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. I know that like last episode, we watched the first ever 2-hour Impact in history, which was like a few months before, around about like 5 months before this, in the October of 2007. So this is what, 5 months later, 6 months later. And they're doing their first live show. The difference was crazy in a tape show and a live show. I can tell you, this one felt live.
No Garrett, unfortunately.
No Garrett. I don't know. Kurt killed him, I guess. I don't really know what the fuck happened. But you could tell the difference in a live show and a tape show, especially with TNA. You could also tell that they had not done live before because holy. But we're in the Impact Zone. It's in Orlando. I guess I'll say it now. It's like a week before WrestleMania in Orlando. That was 2008. So that was WrestleMania 24 was gearing up
to Lockdown, I believe.
Yeah, Lockdown, which is I don't know if you knew this before this episode, but every match is in a cage.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, so every match is in a cage. Always thought that gimmick was a little weird.
A little bit.
It's just a bit odd, but we're gearing up for. So they're in Orlando. The wrestling world is abuzz because everyone's in Orlando for WrestleMania. Yeah. WrestleMania 24 is actually one of my favorite WrestleManias ever. Just a little side note. Edge and Taker was the main event of that one.
Yep.
It's a good Mania. Ric Flair's last match.
Well, thankfully. Well, not actually.
That Shawn and Rick match was wonderful. What a match. Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels not on this show at all. Definitely not on this show.
Shawn Michaels certainly isn't on.
No. Before we get to the first match, they did the like TNA intro where it was like TNA wrestling, cross the line. That was always my favorite thing. It's been on, I'm sure it's been on one of the episodes we've watched before, right?
What,
this? That little intro?
Oh, yeah.
I just wasn't sure because I knew like it went away. It like went away at some point. Actually, probably when Hulk Hogan came in, to be completely honest. He was like, get that shit out of here. Fuck that off. That was probably more of an Eric Bischoff thing than the Hulk Hogan thing, to be completely honest.
Yeah, probably.
Eric would have been like, abso-fucking-lutely not. That's just corny as fuck. Out you go. Take away TNA, Yeah, well, we do actually in a second. But you take us into what happened first here because it starts off, they're live. So they're trying to make it feel, I think that's what they're trying to go for, is like it's live television. So it's chaos. Like that was the vibe I got from this episode.
Yeah. So we get, after we get introduced to the show, Booker T and Mr. Robert Roode are brawling throughout the crowd. The fight spills over into the ring. We get Tracy and Peyton, right? They kind of get into the fray, and then security rushes in, absolutely tackles the shit out of the guys. And then they kind of separate to the stage, Robert and Peyton, and then Booker and Tracy are in the ring. And then they just kind of yell back and forth, and then we get Mr. Jim Cornette to come out, Josh.
Yeah, Jim Cornette's here.
For us.
Yeah, so this brawl was kind of chaotic because it started in the crowd, and then it got into the ring with Booker and Bobby Roode, and then did Tracy come in first, or did Peyton come in first?
I think it was Peyton.
Yeah, she ran out, and then Tracy come in and speared her or some bullshit
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So Tracy Brooks, the original TNA knockout, by the way, Miss Tracy Brooks, she come in and they were brawling and all of that kind of shit. I know that I was watching at this time. I'm very aware that this was like my introductory kind of phase into TNA. I was learning about TNA. I don't really remember too much about this though, but I did a little researching because I wanted to see, like, I'm like, why is this happening? Like, why is Booker wrestling Bobby Roode?
Yes.
Apparently, according to the dirt sheets at the time, I went through the Wrestling Observer fucking archives. Booker T actually requested to work with Bobby Roode. It was one of the because Booker T has only been in TNA for like a hot short amount of time at this point. And he was one of the people that he like requested if he was coming over, he wanted to work with this person. So he wanted to work with Bobby Roode. So they got a, I know that's like a random, probably useless piece of information, but Booker wanted to work with Bobby Roode. Probably says a lot about Bobby Roode. We've talked about Bobby Roode on this show. Pretty much he's been in every episode, I'm pretty certain. And he was always like, it just seemed like the most WWE bound person maybe they had.
And now he's like one of their lead producers. So
yeah, crazy enough. But he was always just like, why aren't you in WWE? Like, why are you still here?
Especially
obviously, he eventually goes. Like, he goes to NXT and whatever eventually, but that's not for a hot minute after this. Like, yeah, great stuff. But he just looked the part, didn't he? He looked like a WWE wrestler.
Like I said, I don't want to keep saying his name, but like, especially Vince's WWE. Especially.
Yeah, but even to a certain degree, like, Triple H loved him in NXT.
Yeah, but there's the aesthetic is like, oh, that Vince needs to get his.
Yeah, because he's like bigger, he's good looking, he's just like he could wrestle. He wrestled a very WWE style.
Yes.
And I don't mean that in a bad way.
It's not like a negative thing. It's
just, he wrestled the most like a WWE talent. It was probably always in the back of his mind, maybe even subconsciously. Like if I wrestle,
I'm supposed to go a little earlier, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, I could have seen him going like he looked the part here. I was like, what is he doing? But yeah, they brawl and then Jim Cornette comes out and he's like, fuck you, I'm a bitch. That's basically what he said. But they had like, because it's live, they could do like this interactive, like this. They had this interact. So they set. Did they brawl after Mike Tenay and Don West talked and then they started brawling again? Is that how it happened?
Yeah.
So yeah, because Mike Tenay and Don West are here and they're like, oh my god, anything can happen. They're running down the show and that.
They're very surprised.
And they talk about like how there's an interactive like choose Awesome Kong's challenger for her Knockouts championship. So they had like that, and then they run down the card like Sting. Will Sting be here? Blah 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 blah. And then they go back to their fucking thing, and Jim Cornette's like, "Hey, I've got an announcement. Like we're gonna do like another interactive thing. The fans are gonna choose what like you're gonna wrestle tonight, and the fans are gonna choose the stipulation that you have." He said all these weird things. He said if you want to like beat each other up or something, you can do it. Choose a last man standing. Yep. If you want to embarrass the other person, you can choose an I Quit match. Or if you want to, I don't know what the words was he used for First Blood, but like he put a lot of emphasis and being like, you know how there's like, like when WWE did like Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday, there was always like the emphasis on one of the stipulations or one of the people to be like, pick this one, guys, pick this one. Like clearly. He wanted them, like, they want you to pick First Blood. They made it sound, they put it last. Like, there's just a certain way they're going to push you into. Do you think that these were legit?
No, and I never thought they were in WWE either.
No, I just mean, in general, like a blanket kind of. I know that they claimed, even in interviews and documentaries, like, they were legit. Like, even Vince in WWE.
I'm sure they had a couple different storylines depending on what they would choose. But
just in a place that is predetermined to a fuckery, I just can't see that you would leave it up to fate. Almost.
Fucking little Jimmy on his mom's phone is gonna decide what.
Yeah, I just always found it a bit like, all right. There's a reason they probably don't do it now because it would be so much easier to do it now because you could just like tweet it.
It would be a lot easier for people to like keep tabs on. Like if I see everybody tweeting a First Blood match, I'm like, why the fuck is the last man standing then?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess so. But where did they say you could? Did you text in or was it on their website?
It was on their website.
Okay, because I know that.
They have the website written down.
I know that the first Cyber Sunday was text in votes and then, or Taboo Tuesday, I should say, and then it became WWE.com later.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Because obviously, so
it was
weird.
You vote at TNAWrestling.com. There you go.
Yeah, right. So you're gonna one of the matches that you're gonna choose the stipulations. So I guess, I mean, if you're live and you've never done live TV before, like TV, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. Like I understand why they're doing it.
I really enjoyed how he put emphasis on that'll be our main event. It wasn't even our co-main event. By the way.
No, it wasn't at all. It happens in about 10 minutes. It feels like,
it's
but
maybe 20 minutes after.
It's very weird. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing.
I have a couple notes though. I don't remember when they happened, but there were two video packages with no sound on them.
Yes, I did notice that, and throughout the whole night they had audio issues like crazy. Even when
But
they
they
went
couldn't
backstage,
fix that 30 years later. They couldn't have edited that at some point, so like the rebroadcast had it.
maybe they didn't. Well, they probably in a sense they probably never digitalized these until much later. They might not even have the audio
Yeah,
anymore, quote unquote. Like
but it's funny how they
it's
kept it
gone
in
through
there. That
that
they couldn't
many.
have edited it out or something. They just
Well,
left it in
that
there.
too. I just noticed that even in the backstage segments and that there was so many audio. Did you notice that like
Yes,
weird like
yes,
whistling and that they had in like the?
yes.
I was
I thought I
like,
heard a dog bark at one point.
I paused it at one stage because I'm like, what is
I
that
looked
noise?
around. I thought
Yeah,
it was
because
my dog crying or something.
I was like, what is that
Yes,
noise? I was like, this
yes.
is fucking weird as
It's
all
so odd.
hell. But it
So
it
weird.
was it was I don't know. It was their
It's
backstage
TNA's first live
segments.
show. That's what it is.
Yeah,
You don't know. Hey,
give them
they
some
were right. The
grace, I guess.
commentary. You really don't know what you get in the TNA live show. You actually don't have any idea.
No.
Oh,
So we'll go to what was next.
we have AJ Styles and Tom Coe with Derby Borash in like a
JB.
locker room type. Yeah, JB in like a locker room setting. They're kind of talking about they have an upcoming like exhibition training session with Kurt Angle later on tonight.
Mhm,
In preparation for Kurt Angle to fight Samoa Joe at Lockdown.
mhm.
Um, and then Angle kind of chimes in. It comes into the locker room and hands Tom Cole a pair of gloves because apparently in Japan he had an issue of like actually hurting people, and so he's like, "You need to put these on." And Tom Cole said no one's afraid because the rumors were that Sting was coming back tonight. Um, so Tom Cole just randomly brings that up. He's like, "I don't care about Sting. I'm not worried about that." And that's when Kurt Angle's like, "You need to worry about this training session. You need to take it seriously. I need to get ready for Samoa Joe."
Mhm. By the way, holy shit, Kurt Angle was whoa, he was fucking wild looking in this stage. You're like, holy crap, you
Yes,
wouldn't
he
want to get into
was.
a fight with this man
He
in
had like,
2008.
but like his like abs were odd. They were like chiseled or whatever, but then
And he
they were
was
like
like,
out.
his
Yeah,
neck was all like
they
his
were like off
traps and
his
shit. You're like,
stomach.
ugh.
That was very odd.
He like if I ran into him into like he wanted to, I would
Right,
be like, fucking Jesus Christ. Like
right.
he's probably in 2008, he's probably going through some stuff. So like I wouldn't want to fucking pick on him
The
in
word that he tells
2008.
fans not to say anymore.
Yeah, like he would have been, yeah. Just whoa, it would have been whoa.
And he
But he
was
just looked
exactly
terrifying.
40 at this point. He just did. Actually, he was about to be 41 during the segment.
Damn,
In
good
a
for
few
him.
months.
AJ had that stupid fucking headpiece on
Oh,
too.
I hate
He looked
the fucking
ridiculous.
the wrestling, like the amateur wrestling gear on.
AJ was like, "What the hell? I'm the
He
tag
did.
team
We'll
champion."
get into this during the segment that happens. He did not take this fucking thing seriously at all.
No, we're going to talk about that segment.
At
Holy
all.
shit, I got some words on that one. But anyway,
Oh yeah, and then we dive into our first match, Josh. We have Johnny Devine who comes out with Team 3D. He faces Alex Shelley with no Chris Sabin, by the way, next to him,
mm,
and it's a qualifying match for the Escape match at Lockdown.
hmm
This match lasts 9.5 minutes, by the way.
huh, hmm,
Includes
didn't feel that
commercials, I
long.
guess.
I guess so, but it didn't feel.
No, no, it didn't.
Yeah, it was fine. I have literally nothing of note on my very
My
few notes that I have
first
open.
line of this match, fine match.
Yeah,
Literally what you just
there
said.
was
Fine
nothing
match.
bad about it.
Nope,
It was fine.
just I don't have much notes on it other than like a little back and
Young
forth.
whippersnapper Alex Shelley, by the way.
Right, who's
We've been
still
watching a
competing
lot
at
of yeah.
SummerSlam and stuff.
Yep.
Match kind of ends when Shelley dumps Divine out of the ring. Divine grabs the camera and hits him with it, and then tosses him back in the ring. Hits his pile. What is it? A something pile. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah.
Some sort of pile driver, and then gets the 3 count. And then he joins Sanjay Dutt and Curry the Man against Black Machismo at Lockdown. There's still 2 more people to be qualified later on, but
Yeah, because they've still got a few weeks until
right.
lockdown. I think it's like the 14th or something.
Yes,
I think they
yeah.
said.
It's right after WrestleMania, like the next week after WrestleMania.
So, I mean, it was. I have nothing of note. Really, the stuff is to talk about what happened after the match.
Yeah, but I would say the most shocking thing is there was no outside interference, really.
No, it was all quote unquote clean. I mean, it was the camera, but look clean.
The next segment we have is Booker T is with Crystal with Charmel behind him during the segment. She's just kind of angrily staring into the camera. She doesn't say much, but Booker T kind of calls Jim Cornette an ass, calls him out for saying he wanted Bobby Roode. He wants Bobby Roode in the ring tonight, 1-on-1, and he didn't want anybody no security or him to interfere with it. So he says what he wants to do is make sure Robert Roode doesn't make it to lockdown, and he said he wants Robert Roode's blood tonight. And he said, "Did you hear me? I said I wanted blood tonight." He said it about two or three times.
Yeah, he was really like, vote for the first
Yeah,
blood match.
fucking
Please
blood.
do it. Make sure you vote for first blood. Someone in TNA management or creative was like, now, Book, what I need you to do is I need you to say the word blood. He had like a quota to fill. Yeah, like he had like a quota to fill of saying the word blood. So maybe they want you to pick a first blood. I don't know that. I don't want to put anything.
I thought they were going to put I quit is what they sound like they were putting.
Yeah, well, that's what they sound like they were pushing. But again, a fine backstage segment, very Booker T.
Yep. Very animated and over, like,
that's
talking, saying about 9 letters at the end of each word.
Yep.
It was a very Booker T. Yeah. And then we get another backstage segment, Johnny Devine and Team 3D. Excuse me. Bully Ray kind of like says congratulations to Devine, said he was proud of him for the win. And then he kind of again, it's another segment where they randomly bring up Sting.
Well, that thing happened after the match with Team 3D with Sting's lights, by the way. We should probably say that.
Oh yeah. It happens again here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happens about 4 or 5 times. The lights just start flickering and then they come back on. Yeah. Throughout the night.
Because they're like, oh shit, it's Sting.
Sting is a known technical hacker, I guess now.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Although he did hack the production truck against Kurt Angle last episode.
Exactly. So he's learned in the last 6 months. So
he's learned from the production team how to do that. He said Ray and Sting have never Team 3D and Sting have never crossed paths, and he wants to keep it that way. So if Sting stays out of their way, he'll stay out of their way. But if he doesn't, he'll slap that clown ass makeup off his face. Is what he said. And then we get the lights flickering again. Everybody kind of freaks out, and then Bully Ray blames Devon for doing it, and then Devon's like, "It ain't fucking me." So then they're like, "Oh shit!" And then they just scurry off. Very scary. The lights, very scary, Josh. Then we get into match number 2. LAX faces Scott Steiner and Petey Williams, and a match that lasts 4 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah, they had it was Big Papa Pump and Little Papa Pump, and who was their manager? What was their name? Raka Khan.
And then Homicide Hernandez come up with Salinas, by the way.
Yes, so there's 3-on-3 in a sense. Yep. They had that. They showed the what happened last week because Petey Williams has gone through initiation basically with Scott Steiner. He fucking electrocuted his nipples or something, did he? Does that what happened?
He put the jumper cable thing.
Yeah, he hooked him up to his nipples and he said,
"It happens again after we get a little bit of hazing at the end of this match too."
Yeah, I guess so. You want to be a part of my team? I'm going to electrocute you.
I'm just going to abuse you for the next 2 months.
Shaka Khan's also hella into it as well. She's like, fuck yeah, let's go. She's fucking
huge. She's jacked.
Yeah, and she's fucking tall as all hell as well. You're like, holy shit. Yep. I don't remember much about her.
No, I've seen her a couple times. I feel.
Yeah, I remember her, but I don't really. She just vanished.
What an odd group this is.
Yeah, it's very. When I seen it, I was like, sure, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, it's happening, so I guess so. But the LAX is cool. I always like their choo choo choo. That's their intro. Did you notice? I know this is a very TNA thing. I don't know if I've asked you this before, so apologies if I have. But especially in this era of TNA, did you notice everyone's entrance had their Titantrons take over the entire screen? It would go. How do you feel about that?
I mean, might as well use the space, right? I don't mind it really.
I always thought it was that was a very WWE didn't do that, so it was a thing to make you different. Maybe it was a thing that maybe that was just a thing to be different, but that's not always the best thing. But I always thought that felt like TNA.
It did, yes. It's very TNA, I would say.
Yeah.
But the match was fine. Like I said, it only lasted less than 5 minutes. But we get a nice little they love to do the fast paced endings with 1,000 things. And Petey Williams reverses a Gringo Killer. Hernandez goes flying over the top rope. By the way,
my God,
Just
I had that
takes
noted as
Scott
well.
Steiner the hell out. Yeah, over the top rope, not a suicide dive, over the fucking
And he
top.
does it like with such.
Like it was
Probably
like
not
the
easy.
easiest thing in the
Yeah.
world.
I
Yeah,
don't know. Like again, he's another guy that I'm like, huh? What if?
yeah, yes, true.
You know what I mean? Like, what
Yeah,
if?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Homicide. So back in the ring, Homicide reverses a Destroyer after Williams. Petey Williams reverses a Gringo Killer, which is Homicide's finisher.
Mhm.
And then he goes for the Destroyer. Homicide reverses that, and then he goes into like a T-bone suplex for the 3 count.
Mhm. I thought this match was again fine.
That's a lot of matches on here. I would feel
Yeah,
a lot of TNA
fine.
matches this day and age.
In this era, there is a little bit more. I feel like there is a little bit more. Like we got to a point in TNA where the wrestling really didn't matter at all.
Yes.
There was like 2-minute matches all the time, which we've covered some of and we'll cover many more of. But in this era, it felt like a little bit more like, okay, they're having wrestling on this show,
That's fair.
which is good.
Yeah. After the match, the losing team is arguing at ringside, and then Scott Steiner pulls out a blindfold and handcuffs and puts him on Petey Williams. So he's now handcuffed.
More hazing, initiation, low level abuse. I mean, it's all happening, and I was like, okay,
You don't know what you get with live TNA, Josh.
yeah, anything can happen.
And then we get a Billy Gunn and Kip James like pre-tape vignette type of thing.
This shit was fucking. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, Billy kind of says the Feast or Fired match wedged in between the caused a wedge in between them.
You know what Feast or Fight is, right?
Yeah, we talked about that. Austin Aries already in the past episodes.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yep.
Go on.
Billy says he always dreamt of tagging with his father, and Kip should have knew that and not have done it with his father because it would have made him jealous. So he knew how he felt in the past. And then it like turns to Kip, and Kip is Road Dogg, by the way.
Yes.
Kip says he shouldn't have been he shouldn't have been brushed aside. That's why he decided to do it or something. It's like they went through a breakup. Like they were dating.
Why was Road Dogg sitting in like a children's playground?
Yes, and why was Billy sitting in like the back of like a farm truck? Like, what the
like,
hell was going on?
I was like, Road Dogg? Why are
Yeah.
you sitting in a playground?
I don't know what the fuck.
He was like, he got that camera crew, and and he was like, come here to where my hangout is at this fucking park.
So last week we got Kurt Angle like kidnapping Sting's son, basically, and now we
Yeah.
have Road Dogg sitting on a fucking slide for a 3-year-old.
God, I hope he had a child present with him.
Yeah,
like
I
his
hope he had
child.
his kid with him or something.
Yeah, because otherwise
Yeah, his
this
child.
man
Let's
with
say
a
not a child, his child.
yeah, his child. Otherwise, just this man with a camera crew just like filming in a child's playground. Well, child's playground as like the backdrop, which is even fucking weirder.
Yeah, like he was sitting on the slide or something.
He was like, "Hey, TNA fans, look at me. I'm good with kids." Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is this?
okay.
It was weird.
Good for you, buddy. And then Kip said basically he got brushed to the side and Billy let his ego get in the way and tarnish their entire legacy as a team. Because just like his biceps, his ego is even more inflated.
Okay.
Sure. Anything on that, Josh?
I just find it funny that that's his tag team partner of who at this point like fucking 10 years or some shit, and he's like, actually, I want to tag with my dad.
Yeah, actually, fuck you. I don't care about you. And then he blames Billy for the one tarnishing the legacy too.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Very interesting. Leave the playground.
Please.
Go to an adult store or something. Let me see Mike Tenay sitting down with. I don't mean an adult store.
I know. I heard you like stop, and you were like, I don't mean this is a sex shop.
Yeah,
but I mean just like go to like a a Best Buy.
Go to a nightclub.
Like,
yeah. That's not. Yeah, don't go to it. Well, an adult store is a more appropriate place at least for him.
Well, I guess so. You know, we aren't. You do what you want, friends. If you want to go to an adult store, except for hanging out
playgrounds if you're in your 40s, don't do that.
If you want to go to an adult store and buy some fucking shit, I'm not gonna stop you. You're It's perfectly legal.
Absolutely. Sitting at a playground, not really legal.
I've never been to an adult store. Should I go to one?
I've never been to one either.
I'm kind of scared of them.
I used to go to. Do they have Spencer's and Hot Topic in Australia?
We have like a version of Hot Topic, yeah.
Spencer's is basically Hot Topic, but a little more edgy. When they used to be in this place I used to live. I'll dox myself here. It's called the Dartmouth Mall in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. When I was a kid, I don't live there anymore. Obviously, I live in Louisiana now. But we would go every. I don't know if that was a thing when you were in like middle school. Like every Friday, you and your friends would go just walk around the mall all
Yeah.
night.
We didn't have a.
Would that be-
I've always lived in like a smaller town, but we walked around like the shops. Like we would go into
Okay.
stores and like
It was
you
a
go and get
massive
like
mall.
you would go like to a McDonald's and you get like
Yeah,
a drink and then you'd go and
You'd
walk around
in
like on
big
a
groups,
Friday
walking
afternoon
around. Yep.
after school. Yep.
Yep.
And then
That's
you'd have like
exactly.
curfew and be like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Get
everybody's
home.
mom would come to pick them up at the same time, and everybody just
Yep.
walk outside. Yeah, in the
Yep.
9 or 10
Yep.
o'clock.
Yep.
So they had a Spencer's, and in the front, like, so in malls, obviously it's like glass windows, and you just walk
Yeah.
by them or whatever. They had just dildos sticking out, like of the
Oh.
front. I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
maybe not if there's gonna be children walking around. Maybe put those in the back.
Yeah, put them at the back. Like we always had. There was like certain stores. Now that I think about it, like even when I was a kid, I remember this. Like there'd be like certain stores that had like that in their like the back section, but you'd have to go through like a little thing to get to it.
Right.
So like mum would always be like, "Oh, don't go back there."
Yeah.
But like they have them at the back, so it's like if children are around, they're not fucking seeing like fucking
if some lady
anal
just take her
beads,
baby
like
to the mall 'cause she
yeah,
has to
and
walk
like
around.
yeah.
Nope, right in
So,
the front.
but
You can
yeah,
walk right by and see it.
I've never like been like I'm gonna go to a sex store today.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying that's the closest I've ever been is walking by a Spencer's and there was dildos hanging out.
Yeah, I guess I've walked past them now that I think about it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just find it a bit like, again, do your thing. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not just gonna walk in here and be like, "Hi, sir,
Dildos,
one
please."
dildo today,
Well,
thank
yeah.
you." Like, there's an
And
internet
then like
for that.
it's like you're at a restaurant. It's like your usual. 2 today, yeah. I'll take
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
Let's get
too.
you-
Let's get a green
yeah.
one. Why not?
Get a blue one.
It's like
But,
I don't know. I just find that weird. But anyway, moving on from that.
Anyway, from dildos to Karen Angle divorcing Kurt Angle.
Holy shit, this
Yeah.
fucking segment was fucking wild. Obviously, we know Karen Angle today as Karen Jarrett because
Yes.
obviously all that happened. Now, I was trying to get in my timeline head of like, is this actually when she is this just storyline or is this real becoming a storyline? I didn't know the timeline of it all and I didn't do research, so I can't actually answer my own question. But obviously she ends up with Jeff and that all happened and she like cheated on or like left or something happened. There was a lot of shit that happened and they obviously turned that into a story. Is this the start of that? Because I'm not sure.
She divorced Kurt Angle in 2008.
Okay, so they're turning real life into a story. Did you? Okay.
She's 6 foot.
Yeah, she's a tall woman.
Oh, I didn't know she was that tall. Oh.
Karen Jarrett was recently on AEW, was she not?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
With Jeff. So okay, taking away all of the real life stuff, I want you to put just like your wrestling brain on. Did you enjoy this segment from beginning to end?
Yeah, because I like dumb stuff in wrestling.
Okay. Do you think that Karen Angle at this point, Karen Angle is a good wrestling personality?
Personality in what
Just
sense?
in this bubble of this segment, did you enjoy her work?
I thought she was kind of funny a little bit.
Okay, so I thought I was just being like, I tried to take off my like what I know now and what I've learned about Karen Jarrett, and like her work because she's kind of just like annoying in a good way as a heel.
Yeah.
I tried to like assess it just from like if I was watching this in 2008, would I find this entertaining? And I thought it was kind of good because I like that kind of corny.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if like the storyline started because of like that or like if it was like started and then like it's like fiction becoming reality type of deal. But obviously they're bringing this onto television and then Jeff and her are still together to this day. So, yick, I guess, but she becomes a pretty mighty heel in TNA. But yeah, interesting. She said a lot of things. She took the kids away from Kurt because all he could think about was Samoa Joe.
She said he was way too obsessed with Samoa Joe.
I was like, that's a reason to leave your husband, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so. If my husband was obsessed with Samoa Joe, I'd be like, I'm going to divorce you
Right.
and take your children away from you too.
Mhm.
See ya.
Don't blame him.
But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, everything plays out the way it plays out, but interesting. I guess, did we not learn from the Edge leader Matt Hardy thing though that like, is this a route you really want to go down, or was that good? I don't know. I I don't know. Sometimes I look at that and be like, why did this ever go on television? But other times I'm like, it was kind of entertaining.
Because that was what 2005.
Yeah, 05. So what? 3 years before this
Yeah,
is
or
when
something.
the whole Edge leader, Matt Hardy, real life
PSO.
thing come
Yeah.
on and whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting, isn't it? In a sense of just like real life stuff, I guess sometimes work. And I guess if you're TNA, you're trying to get any kind of
Yeah.
headline.
It's the opposite of bad publicity. Oh, it's bad publicity, or any publicity is
Any
good
publicity is
publicity.
good. Yeah, I know
At
what
this
you're trying to
point,
say, but
yeah.
I thought the segment was fine. I thought she was kind of entertaining, and it was kind of the birth of her on screen. I think. Well, obviously she's
Yeah.
been on screen before, but like, I mean, it
Right.
was just like the
Of her
birth
being
of all that happening because
regularly.
because Mike today asked, he's like, "There's a like, let's put the rumor to rest. Like, were you fooling around with another
Yeah.
TNA roster member, not just someone close to you, but someone close to Kurt?" And she was like, she basically was just like, I can't confirm that. I'm like, well, obviously you fucking are.
She said, let me. I have it right here. I'm dating. I'm not. I can't confirm or deny, but all I'm gonna say is I date someone that treats me right. Finally, unlike Kurt ever did. That was her response to that.
I guess so.
So, but speaking of the man, he is her now ex-husband is obsessed with. We get a little vignette with him, and then it kind of goes into of him training, and then we kind of go into a live shot of him talking with Mike Tenay from Mexico, Big Bear, Mexico, right? Is where he's training.
California.
Was it Big Bear is in Mexico and California? I don't know.
I think it was. He
Either
said
way.
California.
He's
He
at
said
a training
California.
facility somewhere out of state. California, okay. So yeah, it shows the vignette, and then it cuts into him speaking with Mike Tenay. Samoa Joe said it's going to be a war. He knows against Angle, and he knows Angle's won 3 of his 4 matches, and he can't make any excuses for those 3 losses. All he's going to do is come out as the champion, and if he can't beat Kurt, he doesn't know if there's any point of him having a future in the company.
I guess not.
He did have a future in the company.
Spoiler alert, he's there for a while and he should have been out of there way earlier than he was.
Correct. We got our exhibition training session here, Josh.
Holy shit, this fucking
Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, and Tomko. We get some Frank Trigg, who is an MMA, a former UFC fighter, joined commentary for this, by the way. Just
yeah, obviously I'm not a UFC guy at all, but purely from
no. Oh, I thought you were gonna ask me something.
What?
I thought you were gonna say like, was this guy like majorly relevant in the UFC?
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was aware that he wasn't. But he was actually okay in this segment.
He wasn't bad. He's, you know what? He's not for the UFC, but other MMA promotions. He's a commentator now, and he used to be a referee as well. After he retired, he got his referee license, so he's he mismatches between refereeing MMA fights and commentating MMA fights.
Because they said he wrestled for, he fought for like UFC Pride, maybe I think they said.
Yeah, Pride was something the UFC ended up buying, but it was a Japanese promotion.
Yeah, I remember all that. I remember hearing about that because who had a fight in Pride that I was like, holy shit, why did this person have a fight in Pride? But I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. Anyway, that's for another day. But yeah, I thought he was okay in this segment. Can you try and explain? So what the fuck were the rules of this exhibition, or how did the rounds work?
Are you thinking Ken Shamrock maybe?
No, it wasn't Ken Shamrock. It was someone obscure, but I can't think of it right now. Anyway, how did the rounds work for this exhibition? It was like 1 minute.
1 minute rounds.
But it was like they alternated between AJ
and Tomko, then AJ, then AJ. I mean, yeah, AJ, Tomko, AJ.
So before, earlier you said that AJ Styles didn't really fucking care about this. Yeah, I could tell. Tomko, on the other hand, holy shit.
This is for the UFC title, according to him.
Holy shit. And he was like, I don't know. I think this was a shoot. Quote, unquote. I think they were like, all right, let's fucking, like, obviously Kurt is an Olympic gold medalist. But I think Kurt got kind of fucking pissed off when Tomko took him down.
Yeah. No, he got pissed off about 3 different times, and this was one of them. Yeah.
And then he decided to fuck Tyson Tomko's face up.
Yes, he did.
But like Tomko hung in there with him.
Well, Tonko's a big motherfucker now.
No, I know, but like Kurt's a wrestler, like an
Yeah.
amateur wrestler.
Mhm.
It's actually kind of. I was just like, whoa. AJ, on the other hand, just ran away.
He just fucking ran around the whole time. Yeah. By the way, was it a former WWE wrestler that was very obscure?
Can't answer that. I
Because
don't
let me
know.
see what this guy's nationality is. It might be someone you are very Australia's own Nathan Jones.
No, it wasn't Nathan Jones. I'd fucking
But he
remember
did.
that. Fucking.
He did though.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I was just
I'll
looking up like
rack my
obscure
brain
wrestlers
and
that had one, and that's the only one I'm thinking of.
I'll rack my brain of it at some point and be
Was
like,
it a
remember
wrestler?
when we talked about that? Yeah, I'm pretty certain. It might not be. I don't know. I just
There's a lot more
remember
wrestling.
hearing about it.
Pride was very at the end. This is why the UFC was able to buy him. They started to do like just straight up weird shit.
Yeah,
And
I
it
know.
would make
I know
Jake
that.
Paul boxing look like the most normal thing ever. Like the weird shit they were doing.
They got weird.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I thought this was actually kind of fun. But yeah, Tomko, he took it to Angle. I was like, ooh, and
Yeah.
Angle was pissed.
Which is why, that's why I think, because he didn't think Tomko was going to take it that seriously. That's why he got like legit mad.
You could see it in Kurt's face. He was like, "What the fuck? You took me down."
He was like, bitch, that
And he didn't do it. He wasn't sloppy in it either. Like he did
no,
like a
no.
he did like
it wasn't
a
like
good
he landed on
takedown.
his neck or something awful. Like
No, like he took him down, and I was like, Tyson Tomko, I was unfamiliar with your work, buddy. Good for you. Good for you.
He
but
looks like a Tekken character.
Yeah, he looks like
especially with the wrist tape he had on.
Yeah, and he has like the tattoos.
Yeah, like the really like shitty tribal tattoos. Like,
yeah, he does actually. I can't think of who though.
I don't know the names of them, but he just looks like he would be in a video game like that, like a Street Fighter game.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a
yeah. But pretty much the whole thing was Tomko during his rounds took it very seriously and stood up with Kurt. And then AJ was just like, oh, "You're not gonna touch me, bitch. I'm fucking with you here."
Yeah, AJ was like, "Bye."
Yeah,
it was funny. AJ with that fucking head gimmick, he looks so ridiculous.
Yeah, and he had the singlet on and the fucking headgear, like college wrestling session.
He looks so ridiculous. They're the tag team champions, by the way.
AJ and Tomko.
Yeah.
Then we get Christian Cage, Kevin Nash, and Rhino decide to interrupt things. They get on the stage. Christian says everything that's going on right now is a joke, and while Samoa Joe is doing his rigorous real training, Kurt Angle was playing around with his friends and what do you say, like mentally abusing them while embarrassing them.
While Christian was spitting. I was like, "You go, Christian."
He was like, "You're trying to play with your friends and mentally embarrass them while embarrassing your own self, actually."
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "You know what? I'll offer you something that Samoa Joe's doing, and I'll give you a real training session." Pretty much saying, "Let's do a 3-on-3" is what he's hinting at. And then Team 3D comes in. Excuse me. Kurt runs out of the ring as they come in to brawl or square off with the three in the ring. Kurt Angle said, "Nope." And then Team 3D comes in. The lights go right out. Every time Team 3D comes in, the lights are fucking with here. The Stinger is back finally, Josh. After about seven different light switches. Sting kind of gets the better of the brawl. Everybody clears. He gets on the mic. Excuse me. He says he has a challenge for Team Tomko. So it'll be Sting. It'll be Christian and Kevin Nash and Rhino against Tomko, AJ in the Team 3D in the main event tonight, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait for that one.
Great. Yeah.
Yep. Great stuff. I mean, it was just standard.
It was very thrilling.
It was standard.
But because Sting was here, Josh, so you know why, though? Because you never know what happens on live TNA.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I was shocked. I started shaking when he came out. And then we get Robert Roode with JB. JB is kind of the workhorse of tonight, even more than usual. And we get an announcement from Jeremy Borash. He reveals that they will be facing off, him and Booker T, in a. If you had to guess, what kind of match would you say from what happened? Obviously, last one standing, probably.
Yeah, obviously.
It'll be a first blood match tonight.
Yep.
And our certainly not main event. That definitely doesn't happen right after this segment. And then Roode kind of just runs a promo on Booker T. He says he didn't care what kind of match it was, yada yada. And then he says tonight he gets Booker T's blood, and then at Lockdown he gets his skanky wife's blood.
Why did he want to beat up Charmel?
Why do you want her blood so
He
badly?
wanted her in the cage. I was
Yeah,
like,
he says tonight I
okay.
get your blood, and then at lockdown I'll get your skanky wife's blood.
I was like, uh,
Skanky is a
okay.
very old word. That is a very
I was
2002
like,
word, I
this is
feel.
getting fucking crazy weird,
It's
but
very
all
creepy.
right. I was like, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Weird
And then
segment.
that leads into our certainly main event with not two more matches to come up. Booker T, Robert Roode, First Blood match, 10:25 it lasts on the night.
hmm Again, all I have noted here is that it was fine.
Fine match again right now.
Fine. It
We won't
was.
get into too many of these spots, but the ending sequence is Booker sends Robert out to the floor, Roode out to the floor, clotheslines him. Robert gets the better of it, looks for a pile driver, but Booker falls out, grabs the legs, does the whole flip him over the head gimmick right into the ring post.
Mhm.
Very little blood, by the way, Robert, but it is First Blood. Doesn't matter how much blood. Booker T wins. Then he kind of makes him bleed a little bit more, though. Make it look like a little more blood than the little
Yeah,
drop
because
of
it
it
was
just
only a
kind of
little
was.
bit.
He's like, yeah, it's not the best blood here, but let's get a little more color on him. And then there you go. But
hmm
yeah, thoughts on that match?
Fine.
Fine. It's fine.
Again, it was fine. I don't
That's true.
just think that's bad. It was just, it was fine.
And then we have two back-to-back segments here, so we'll kind of put them together. Awesome Kong and Risha Saeed talking to Crystal. Um, Saeed reads a prepared statement from Awesome Kong, I believe she said. And
hmm
she said, tonight is a special night, and it doesn't matter who she has to face, who the fans vote on her to face, because her reign of destruction or path of destruction will continue to be to mow down on the path of destruction. And then that
She's
leads
in.
into,
This is like fucking awesome Kong, just
yes, fuck you up.
destructive era. It is
Yep.
crazy how
hmm
much Awesome Kong is just like fucking going nuts in this time.
hmm That leads right into Gail Kim and ODB, who is with Jeremy Borash, who reveals, with only a 500 vote separator, apparently, by Jeremy Borash, that ODB has won the fan vote, and she will face Awesome Kong coming up next for the TNA Knockouts title. Gail
Hell
looks kind
yeah.
of upset, but ultimately wishes ODB good luck to face Awesome Kong. Probably a little relieved, to face Awesome Kong at this rate as well.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I would be.
and then,
ODB is someone we haven't seen wrestle.
no, we've
Like,
seen her, but not wrestle.
yeah. Do you know what ODB stands for, right?
Yes, of
Yeah,
course. Of
one
course.
dirty bitch.
Yeah.
ODB was always like one of those women that were on TNA that you were just like, well, she would never be in WWE. Like she would never go there because
How
she's not
awesome
like
would
that.
she be in NXT these days?
She'd be fucking so over too.
Oh my god, people would love her.
My
She was
God.
over in TNA too.
Yeah, she was always over in TNA. I mean, she was a woman that drank beer and like slapped her ass and
And
like
like put people's face in her
people.
titties. Yeah.
Yeah, like it worked in that time.
Could work now.
I never thought she was like an amazing wrestler, but I don't think she
No.
necessarily needed to be.
But she also wasn't like offensively bad either.
No, she wasn't bad. I just think there was a lot
She
better than
wasn't
her.
like
But
Gail Kim and
yeah, but
whoever
like
else.
she knew her role really well.
She
And
knew what she was. Yep.
honestly, it doesn't matter if you're a good wrestler. If you're over, you're over. Who gives a
Sure.
shit? I guess
Yeah.
like whatever. But yeah, like it's always interesting because we talk so much about the fucking beautiful people. This is actually the first episode where they're like not featured.
Yeah. Very
Like
shocking, actually.
they're not featured at all. So like it's kind of nice just to talk about someone else. But anyway, go on.
Yeah. And then it leads into the match. Awesome Kong, Risha Saeed at her as her side, faces ODB and defends the TNA Knockouts title in a 5-minute match.
Mm-hmm. I thought that fucking awesome bomb at the end was fucking gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only note that I had. Is that
Yep, I have
sit
that
out
too.
power bomb? Obviously, her awesome bomb with she like span.
Yeah.
It looked
And then,
gnarly, but just like the impact of it, no pun intended. The impact of it was crazy.
Yep. And then she goes over in about 5 minutes to retain the title. And like you said, it was just another check
Fine
mark
match.
on her list of just dog walking
Mhm.
everybody pretty much for a while. Yeah, and then we get Sting, Christian Cage, Kevin Nash, and Rhino with Miss Crystal. Christian kind of runs down the other team, says, "What a difference a matter of weeks can make. Look at this. Now I'm friends with Nash. I squashed the beef with Rhino, and now I have the ace in my hole and Sting coming up here tonight." Christian says that he won't change what he he won't ever change, but what will change is that he will become the champion once again. and says, "Yeah, he just tries to be the best every single night." And tonight, Team Tomko will find that out that he is the best as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Okay, fine promo.
I don't mean it in a nasty way. I just
No,
mean like,
no. Yeah,
cool.
and that leads into it did what it needed to do. Leads into our main event,
Yeah. I
which
have
I
some
have as
thoughts on
a
this.
solid match. So I want to
It's
upgrade it from
fine.
solid to fine. Fine to
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
It's
Is solid better than fine?
I think it is, but
I think they're
10
kind of
minutes, 2
fucking 1 and
seconds.
1.
Yeah, fair enough. 10 minutes, 2 second match. Christian Cage, Sting, Kevin Nash, and Rhino taking on Tomko, AJ Styles, and Team 3D, Bully Ray D1.
Yep. It's again, it's fine. I will say, holy hell. The level I was like, it's TNA is like, their main event scene here is pretty good. Like, they have a lot of good talent and stuff. Obviously it should have worked out a lot better in TNA. Well, I mean, it's still around today, but like, it's crazy how the level of over that their top talent is from the rest of. There's a really big disconnect. Did you notice that? Like the Stings, Christian, Angle, like as opposed to like some people on their lower cards that really wasn't getting too much a reaction. I think that's probably in part what we talked about before, like being in the impact zone can kind of be a bit tough sometimes. But like, man, Kurt Angle comes out versus like, I don't know, Alex Shelley at this point. You're like, whoa, Jesus.
Do you think that could be partly because of it being a lot of potentially WWE fans in the crowd? Because it was WrestleMania week.
Well,
and they literally didn't know who some of these people were, maybe.
Yeah, they're probably just like running around in Orlando and like, we'll go here, like it's wrestling.
Yeah, they're
we'll
obviously wrestling
it.
fans.
Yeah, so I guess so. Well, they earlier in the night they did show a WWE wrestler in the audience that actually led to him getting fired.
Yeah.
They showed by his government name too. It was like Derek Couch or something.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit! He was one of the fucking Highlanders, wasn't he?
Yeah, one of the Highlanders.
Yeah, and he got fired because of that. He was shown on TNA because apparently there was like a thing going around because like they announced like obviously they're going to Orlando and TNA's in Orlando and they were like apparently there was like a memo that went out to like WWE talent be like, do not go to TNA shows. We do not want you at TNA shows. And then he was like, I don't fucking go to it. And then TNA showed him on the fucking camera. And you know what's even more fucked up is that guy didn't even get a job with TNA after.
No, honestly, at least hire him. Fucking piece of shit.
Vince probably seen him was like, I fucking told you bitches one thing. And then he's probably like gone in like all like coy and like, I'm just gonna go and watch my friends like at Impact. And then they just like, well, look at where I'm here.
Actually, you're not gonna do it, buddy. Yeah, you can do it. You're gonna. He shows up to the arena for WrestleMania like taping.
He's like, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's like, actually, you're not.
Well, let's be honest. He showed up to the arena taping, and Vince was like, "Fucking you."
Yeah. Fair.
Vince didn't know who that guy was.
No. He's like the Highlander.
Who the fuck are they? Yeah. But holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, they did do that. I forgot to mention that. Actually, that's funny now that you say it, though.
It's
but
just
another
interesting.
Another fine one.
Yeah, another fine one. It's really the stuff after. Oh, well, you run down the finish, and then we'll talk about what happens after.
Yeah, another fast-paced like type of finish. Sting hits press slam AJ outside the ring onto Tomko. And then back in the ring, Rhino just drills Bully Ray with a gore. Sting locks in the Scorpion Deathlock on Devon. He taps out. The good guys win.
Good guys win.
And then we
Sting's
get some
comeback.
After match antics. Team Cage is celebrating. James Storms comes in and right with a beer bottle over Sting. Yep, right on Sting.
Got on his head.
And then the brawl breaks out. Team Tomko gets the best of it. They celebrate with James Storm over Sting. And yeah.
Oh, we should say when they were celebrating, a bunch of pyro went off. Yes. I don't know why.
Well, you never know what could happen on.
I was like, did they just win the fucking 5-man tag team titles? What the fuck just happened?
It was a new title match.
I was like, why is there pyro? They're like, we did it. We got through a live show. Yeah, other than like audio, issues and a few little like technical like throwing to packages didn't quite work out the way it wanted to work out. I actually thought they did a pretty good job. Like this is the most like in the nicest way possible fine episode of Impact that we've watched. Sure. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything too crazy.
I said this is like probably one of the better ones.
better in terms of just like nothing fucking horrid happened.
Well,
You
they
know.
did make a man lose his livelihood.
But
If
I
you don't
mean,
know what guy.
whatever. Who gives a shit about the Highlanders? I guess. Someone does, I'm sure.
They might.
Well, who knows?
TNA
Who
didn't because they got him fired and didn't give him a job. So
Derek Couch or whatever the fuck his name was? I have no idea.
sure.
Um, holy. So that wraps this episode of TNA Impact up, the very first live Impact in its history.
Derek Graham Couch and Russell Murray were the Highlanders.
There we go. Derek Graham Couch. What a guy. What a guy. TNA legend, Derek Graham Couch. It's it's interesting. It's just like very like we've watched some stinkers. We've watched some really good stuff. But this is just the most like good. It was obviously the reason I picked this one obviously was it was the first ever live Impact. There can only be one first. And this was the first one. And I thought they did pretty well. And obviously they kind of throughout their history, they went live sometimes. They didn't go live other times. They kind of went through periods where they didn't and they did. So, I mean, it's probably a big part of the reason they're not going live is it's probably really expensive to go live. So, and a lot of the shit can just go wrong. But I will say, like, we watched that episode from like 6 months before this last time, and there's just a real difference in taped television and live television. There's just it just feels different. It just really, not to be funny, but like anything can happen. It can't happen. You can't get that on a tape show at all. You just can't. So, but I thought this episode was fine. It's probably going to be the title of this fucking episode. This episode is fine because it is. It's just fine. But hell yeah, friends. You know what? So I wasn't going to say anything at the end of this episode, but I think I'm going to as we're wrapping up. The next episode of TNA Impact, Impact Intact that we are doing in 2 weeks is Victory Road 2009. We are going to do the Survivor match with the girl from Survivor versus Charmel. I know everyone's been fucking waiting for it. I've had people telling me in the comments on YouTube and that be like, don't do that too much late. Like, you need to give it to us. So next week, in 2 weeks' time, we're doing it. We're going to have CJ watch it for the first time ever. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to watch it for the second time ever in my entire life because it's that bad. So we will be reviewing Victory Road 2009. It is the worst wrestling match in the history of wrestling matches. And I can say that pretty confidently. It's bad. We're going from a fine episode of TNA to Victory Road could be the greatest pay-per-view ever outside of that match. And it will still go down as one of the worst pay-per-views ever because it had that match on it. So Victory Road 2009 is the next episode of Impact Intact. So grab your TNA Plus. Actually, I think it's on YouTube. I'm pretty certain this one is on YouTube as well. So you won't even need TNA Plus to watch it. But we're watching it for that. We're going to review the whole show. We'll do our due diligence. But that will be a big section of that. And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I might cry watching it again.
I'm going to love it.
I don't know. I love bad wrestling, but this is just like it's like offensive. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's bad.
See.
It's bad. But that will be the next episode of Impact
Intact.
I know you've been waiting for it. I just had a few YouTube comments and that, and there was people on our Spotify, which by the way, you can follow us, give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It helps us out with the algorithms and it gets more of us in your ears. But I had people on Spotify where you can leave a comment. Didn't even know you could leave comments on Spotify, but you can. And I was like, comment on my Spotify post. I was like, bitch, who's reviewing my playlist on Spotify? And then I was like, all right, the podcast that's on Spotify. And then someone's like, you got to do it. Like, you got to do it. So we're doing it in 2 weeks' time. Impact Intact. We're doing Victory Road 2009. So make sure you watch it ahead of time, people. So then by the time we drop it in 2 weeks from, if you're listening to this on Monday when this drops, 2 weeks from today, we will drop that episode and it will be fucked up. It's not going to be great. But anyway, that's going to do us for this week's episode of Impact Intact. If you liked this episode, like I said, rate us 5 stars on all your favorite podcasts. Yeah, leave a comment on Spotify.
Sure.
You know, crazy. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, do all that kind of goodness, so we can get more people listening to watching the Hive, listening to the Hive, listening to Impact Intact. Like I said, we've had some watch parties. We got a lot more to come up towards the end of the month. There's also going to be a lot more. It is it's September as you're listening to this now. It is AFL final season, so I'm going to be ramping up a lot of AFL content over the next little bit as the Adelaide Crows are in the finals for the first time in 8 years. Minor premiers, which if you know, you know. I'm not going to get into that on this show, but
I take full credit for that.
And you can all have it. But I'm going to have some stuff on Substack. We're going to be doing some finals watch parties here on the Hive, and it's going to be. I suggest that if you are watching along with me, just be prepared, because I haven't watched the Crows in finals in a long time, so the audio will peak. I probably won't interact with the chat that much because I will be in a trance of just like, what the fuck is happening? So that'll happen as you're listening to this. That'll happen this coming Thursday night is the first finals for the Adelaide Crows. So I believe around 7 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. So come hang out on our Twitch and watch me probably shit my pants live on Twitch, because it's going to be gnarly. I'm very scared because it's oh my God, it's terrifying. But so come hang out for that. We'll have a lot of AFL content. If the Adelaide Crows make the grand final, I don't know what the fuck's going to go on, because I don't personally think that it would be a good idea for me to stream it, because
I think it would be great.
I don't think it would be great, to be honest. I'll probably probably watch it with my friends at a pub. So, because, oh, come on. It's like are you kidding? Like, it's like, they haven't been premiers since 1998. Bitch.
You were 25, I think, around then.
Fuck off. So. JPJ was, but I wasn't.
30.
I'm throwing fucking strays at JPJ and he's not even here. That's rude. I don't care.
The face of the Hive at this point.
Come on, calm down. Okay.
He said he's the watch along king, I believe. He is
all right. You just wait, buddy. You just fucking wait. You hold your horse. I'll knock him off that perch real
We'll get his hey, by the way, real quick little teaser here. We haven't announced this yet, but there might be a little bit of head-to-head action between
someone's going to be giving some.
Watch along king is.
What? Oh yeah.
That's on the Patreon.
We'll see. Patreon. I don't think that's even allowed on there. Jesus Christ! If you pay me a lot of money, I'll film it. Just being honest. Sure. But yes, there's a lot coming up here for the Hive. You know what? We got the buzz. We've got the stuff on Substack with myself, Bryn, Mike, and Peggy. Peggy just reviewed a fucking Barbie game. So, I mean, you're getting everything.
Might be the face of the Hive right now.
Peggy did some great stuff with some co-streaming and stuff, and me and Peggy are talking about her doing some other stuff as well. Me and Peggy are also going to be playing some games on stream together soon, so just putting that out there and stuff like that. But I'm on Twitch playing Lego Star Wars and stuff like that, usually yelling at CJ if he's in the chat.
Figure out who is who.
This show may come in. It's like I'm going to watch Star Wars. I'm going to watch you watch Star Wars. That may be the fucking next thing that I do.
I still think we need to find a way for you to watch me watch that match.
I don't think I want to, because it's just, I don't want my visceral reaction to it to influence you. Okay. I think that's doing it a disservice.
I like really garbage stuff.
This isn't funny.
Okay.
And that's coming from me.
Yeah.
Who likes wrestling weddings. Yeah. I like weddings. It's my favorite thing about wrestling. Give me a wedding.
Teaser for next episode.
But Jesus fucking Christ. It's bad. Anyway, you know where to find us at this point. Our names are on the screen. They're in the description below. Or if you're listening to this they're all in the description, so you can follow us where you follow us and all that kind of good stuff. I think that's pretty much everything that I need to say on this one. You know, we're rocking and rolling now. We're 3 months into the Hive and we're having a good time. So a lot more content's coming now. As everyone knows, I'm not heading to Perth because WWE like to charge millions of dollars for you to go anywhere. So I'm heading to a house show that they're doing, which is kind of a little bit low-key more fun anyway. I'm not going to be that guy, but like I can watch it on TV and then just go and watch something that isn't on television and be like, oh, well, I was there. I seen it. You didn't. And I get to go to Melbourne, by the way, instead of Perth. I get to go to Melbourne instead of Perth, so I'm fucking having a grand old time. I hate Perth. And it's going to cost me like $900 less.
Okay.
So
That's always good.
yeah. So, and I only have to leave Giddy for 2 days. So I don't have to go for 6. So, not too mad. So I'm going to head over to Melbourne next month. So there's going to be a lot of stuff we're bringing out for the Hive now that I'll do, because there'll be a friendly time for me. A lot of these shows are starting at like 9:30 my time. So I'm not mad at that. I got to do a lot of watch parties over the few days that where WWE's in there. And then AEW is also coming to everything's coming to Australia. What the fuck? And then AEW is going to be in AEW is going to be in Australia in February of 2026. So we'll see what happens there. I'm going to do my best to go, but we'll see about that one.
It's immediate, Josh.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Tony Khan, if you're watching this, which obviously you are.
He follows me on Twitter. If you want me
yeah,
to
you might need to tweet at him and be like, "Hey, can you hook this guy?"
I don't need to tweet at him.
No, put it in a public setting. You want some clout.
Okay, fair enough.
Everyone will be like, "Look at this! He's so nice. Like, look how he's helping out his friend." If you do that in a DM,
he has DM'd me before, but real quick, I have DM'd him. He did reply. Just gonna say that.
Well, you might need to hook me up with the media fucking accreditation. So then, and I'll be like, and if you could hook me up with a fucking flight as well. Obviously, he could fucking afford it. I mean, he wouldn't even
send you the jet. Fuck
he could come and pick me up personally at my home if he wanted to. Like,
just come to my house.
Like, if he really wanted to, he has enough money. So, Tony, if you're watching, brother, hook me up. It's Valentine's Day.
Tony, we can, if you listen, just me and Tony here. You stop listening. Josh runs the Hive, but if you want to offer us something to only review AEW shows, we'll can the shit immediately. I'm just letting you know. You pay us enough money, we'll do it.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that, but also I fucking agree.
Yeah, okay,
AEW is the greatest wrestling company that's ever existed. It's actually the only wrestling company that's wrestling didn't exist before 2019 when John Moxley ran into Double or Nothing.
We do AEW only reviews on this show. We will also have another podcast where we do nothing but bash WWE. It's a full hour talking about how WWE.
I hate that shit. Rhea Ripley, she sucks.
Fucking garbage. Becky Lynch, my opinion, was for a good reference. I'm just gonna say.
I think Mercedes Moné clears Sasha Banks.
Becky Lynch, piece of shit. Becky Hogan. You heard it here first.
Oh shit! All right, friends, that's gonna do us for this episode. You have a good rest of your night, day, morning, wherever it is, wherever you are. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay pretty, stay safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next episode of Impact Intact. Goodbye.